Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters.
It's like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left. We all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
That makes a difference.
Tonight, boxing fans witnessed not just the aftermath of one of the biggest fights of the year, but the beginning of what could be one of the most talked about rivalries in modern boxing history. After Terence "Bud" Crawford's clash with Canelo Alvarez, the spotlight immediately shifted when Floyd "Money" Mayweather decided to insert himself into the conversation. Mayweather, the undefeated legend, called out Crawford, suggesting that if Crawford truly wanted to prove himself as the best of this generation, then the real fight was not Canelo, but him, Floyd Mayweather. The boxing world went into shock. Social media exploded with debates. Analysts started weighing in. And everyone had one big question: how would Terence Crawford respond? Crawford stepped up to the mic during his post-fight press conference, calm, collected, but with a certain edge in his tone. He said, "Look, I've always respected Floyd. He paved the way for a lot of us fighters. He's a legend. But if he's serious about stepping back into this game, then you know me, I don't back down from anybody." That single statement sent the entire room buzzing. Crawford was not dismissing Floyd. He wasn't brushing it off as a publicity stunt. He was putting it right back on Mayweather, showing the world that he's not afraid to face the man many consider the greatest defensive fighter in history. Now let's break this down. First, let's talk about where both men stand in their careers. Floyd Mayweather, 50 wins, 0 losses, has been retired from professional boxing since 2017, but he stayed active with exhibitions. His last high-profile outing was against Logan Paul in an exhibition bout. While those fights kept him in shape, they were nothing compared to going up against a pound-for-pound king like Crawford. On the other hand, Terence Crawford has been dominating real champions, dismantling Errol Spence Jr., handling every challenge in front of him, and most recently proving himself against the size, power, and experience of Canelo Alvarez. The idea of Crawford versus Mayweather is more than just a fantasy matchup. It's a generational clash. Mayweather represents the past era of dominance, the face of boxing through the 2000s and 2010s.
So if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm just asking.
Man.
Because Floyd was pound for pound before.
That would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody. I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terence.
always figures it out.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's
a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ in
But
that
the
shit
funny
is
thing
crazy.
about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody
though.
else? Yeah.
There's an OG
Somebody
somewhere.
got to pioneer,
that you
right?
can't
Yeah,
out-figure
yeah,
out.
you got to.
There's an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere.
yeah,
And I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't.
Crawford represents the present, the pound-for-pound star of today, and the man trying to build his own legacy as one of the greatest ever. During his response, Crawford didn't just stop at a respectful nod. He added, "People always want to compare me to Floyd. They say, well, who would win if Bud fought Money Mayweather in his prime? Now, I can't go back in time, but if Floyd wants to test himself against me right now, then why not? Let's give the fans what they want." The press erupted with questions. Was this fight even realistic? Could Mayweather actually come back at age 48 to face a prime, active champion? Would it be sanctioned as a professional bout or just another exhibition? Crawford, however, made it clear he doesn't play exhibition games. He said, "If I'm fighting Floyd, it's not for fun. It's for legacy. It's for history." That's the key difference. Crawford is chasing something Mayweather once chased, greatness that can't be questioned. And that's why his response carried so much weight. Now, let's shift to the reaction from the boxing world. Within minutes of the press conference, Twitter, Instagram, and sports talk shows were flooded with reactions. Some fans were hyped, saying this was the biggest possible fight in boxing. Others were skeptical, pointing out that Mayweather is far past his prime. But one thing is clear, people are talking, and that's exactly what both fighters thrive on. Experts weighed in as well. Former champions and trainers gave their opinions. Some said Floyd's defensive genius would frustrate Crawford, just like it did every opponent in his career. Others argued that Crawford's timing, switch-hitting ability, and killer instinct would be too much for an older Mayweather. The debate raged on. Crawford's response was measured, but confident. He didn't beg for the fight. He didn't chase after Floyd. Instead, he said, "I'm not here to call anybody out. But if Floyd wants it, I'm here. I'm ready. I've proven myself against the best of this era. And if I get the chance to prove myself against the best of the last era, then it's just another step in my journey." That statement showed exactly why Crawford is different. He's not about the show, the money, or the circus. He's about the sport, the competition, and the legacy. For nearly half an hour, the press grilled him. Would he take the fight at welterweight? Would he move up or down in weight? Would he be willing to work with Mayweather Promotions? Crawford never flinched. He answered every question with calm confidence. He said, "I'm not worried about the business side. That's for my team. I'm worried about proving who's the best inside that ring." Now, imagine what this fight would mean for boxing. The build-up would be historic. Two undefeated fighters in spirit, Floyd at 50-0, Crawford currently unbeaten. The marketing would sell itself, the king of the past versus the king of the present. Pay-per-view numbers would shatter records. Fans from every corner of the world would tune in. And for Mayweather, it would be the ultimate test of whether his skills can still match up to the modern era. As Crawford wrapped up his response, he left the room with one final statement that echoed throughout the boxing world: "At the end of the day, I respect Floyd. But respect doesn't mean fear. If he wants to do this, I'll be waiting." And just like that, the seed was planted. The possibility of Crawford versus Mayweather is no longer just a fantasy thrown around on forums or podcasts. It's a real conversation. One man has called out, the other has responded. Now, it's up to the business of boxing to make it happen. For the next several days, this story will dominate headlines. Every sports show will discuss it. Every fighter will be asked about it. Fans will argue endlessly online. And all the while, both Crawford and Mayweather will be watching, knowing that the world is waiting for their next move. Crawford's response was everything it needed to be: respectful, confident, and bold. He didn't chase Floyd, but he didn't run from the challenge either. And that balance is exactly what makes this story so powerful. Because when a legend of the past meets a legend of the present, the entire sport of boxing stands still. And so, as the cameras shut off and Crawford walked out of that press room, the message was clear: if Floyd Mayweather wants to step back into the spotlight, Terence Crawford is not only ready, he's waiting.